Hey everyone, Ben from Towns. A little bit, the allergies are killing me in the past 2 days, so sorry for being a little bit my fault. Towns is a protocol for group chats. Essentially, what we do is allow group creators to have the access management of their group chat embedded in blockchains, and through that, basically unlock reputation and value creation. Anyone here is familiar with Towns? Anyone like tried it? Okay, cool. So basically the idea on the front end, it looks like what you would expect from a Discord or a Telegram, but it has pretty few cool things that are happening in the background. Every town, essentially, it's its own smart contract that manages access, different monetization. I guess, module that creators can use in order to sell memberships to their group chat. And also it has reputation on chain. So essentially users that are in the towns, they tip one another or they review the towns that they're part of, and all that exists on chain. And actually, as they go to different towns, they can actually show that they are a high quality user in a way. One of the cool things that is happening is we have about 400,000 weekly active users, about half of them daily, and it's a social product, and it's still totally decentralized and owned. So you kind of end up trying to post to Ethereum DA layer in the beginning a lot of data, and that was very expensive. That's where we changed to Celestia, which really really helped. Um, ooh, we don't have permission to play this. Okay, I'll go to the next one. It was like a video where like it goes through like the app, but I guess we have this. Essentially, Towns allows group creators to own the actual module of the group chat that they have. And because every user have an embedded wallet, tying the identity of the chat identity with the wallet and putting it all connected through this, I guess, uh, uh, on-chain modality of the town, it really gives transparent way to kind of enumerate how the value is being moving around and like who are the valuable users and valuable communities. Um, cool things that is even surprising to us, because we've been building it for 3 years, but we launched in middle of October last year, so 7 months, 8 months. Group chats has been doing more, almost, I think with today's ETH price is like more than 20 million in revenue on group chats, and the protocol takes 10% of this programmatically, so there's like $2 million in actual fees in the protocol. This is all like on Dune. Like, this is pretty cool, because when you think about it, like, when we started, people are like, oh, I wouldn't pay for like a Discord server. Like, people don't pay, and it's true because it's junk. A lot of this is junk. But if you change the default to say, no, this is a place where if you have valuable conversation, this is the place you should go, because this is a transparent way for you and your community to capture some of this value moving forward. And you flip the default, all of a sudden you also enforce accountability on all the people that are part of it. And because you are oh, this is better. Because you're enforcing this accountability, the value of the conversation is going up, and the perceived value of the conversation is going up, and then people are willing to pay. And that's been pretty cool. Usually we get the question of like, oh, this is a lot of bot and farmers, but if and I bet that there's some of this for sure, but they would be losing 10% of every dollar that they are trying to farm and game here, and this is a lot of money at this point. Yeah, any question? Yeah. Sorry?
So on that fee generation, I'm
Yeah.
curious, what are the users paying for?
So when you're creating a group chat on Town, it goes and create a smart contract on base that represent the access management of the town. And what happens is where users are joining your group chat, it issues them NFTs that represent subscription to your group chat. In that moment, based on how you set the pricing model, you have a treasury that is connected, that is on-chain, that's connected to your town. And in that moment, when they buy the membership, 10% of the fees are going to the protocol, and 90% of the fees are going to you. Well, to your town's treasury, which you control, and you can do what you want with it.
Gotcha. So like NFT gated communities, essentially.
That is technically correct, but a wrong way to frame it, because what people go
Yeah,
when they hear
the
it
form
is to
factor
like
is very different.
gating based on NFT communities, which is you could do with Town, but that's not for that. Towns is for paid group chats. That we are using NFT issuance as a way to enumerate the subscription that you have to the town.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. The form factor is different.
The what?
The form factor.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to use Towns, great
Yeah.
product. You go there and you immediately know that I'm spending all my money. It's very high quality discussions there.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
wondering.
Which town are you part
I
of?
will not reveal Anon.
Okay. All right.
Same as with Reddit, I don't tell where I'm sitting.
Okay. All right.
I want to know, what are your plans on extending to paid tokens in different formats from different chains?
That's
Because the dream is, like people ape, for example, in Ham Chain with BHAM, and you just want to take your degenerate community to town, so you create more viral content. Like,
so. This is a great thing. So when people are paying to join a town, it's in ETH, not in towns, because towns has a token. It's not live yet, but has a token, and it's not a payment token. So the way it goes, it inflates to pay the node operators, and then what we do is we use those ETH emissions that are coming from people buying to buy and burn to basically offset the inflation. Because of that, we do not want to, like ETH or USDC is relatively stable. However, there is an effort in the team to make tipping, which is a big way of how people, basically, one of the way people build our town's karma is by tipping one another, because then you have like this little number next to your name that says how many times you got tipped. And the only way to have that number go up is if somebody actually spent money to help you get it out. That we're gonna allow people to do in other ERC20s for now. Yeah.
I also, sorry, for the follow-up question, because of the tipping culture there,
Yeah.
what are your plans on inspiring from Patreon?
Inspiring.
Inspiring from Patreon products. When I was looking into towns,
Yeah.
I was missing the tier list from Patreon so much.
Oh.
Like I want to be so exclusive as an add-on. Like,
Got it. No, there is. We're a team of 22 people, and like there is definitely, and when the token is live, like how do you show people who stake the most, and what does that mean, and how do you get verified? Like, yeah, we definitely look at Discord Boost as a way of inspiration, and tiers on Patreon and all of this stuff. Yeah, for sure.
nice. Thank you.
So we were talking about this outside, but one of the promises of blockchains is to, like in the internet today, like creators are not fairly compensated for the value they create, and community curators or creators are creators in a sense, even though I feel like creators are usually thought of as like YouTube people or Instagram influencers.
YouTube
or whatever.
actually does a good job compensating their creator.
That's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like what I want to ask is Discord and that kind of like group chat sort of form factor of communities. It's one form factor of online community, but like Reddit and like forums is another one. And like, I guess, do you envision that towns will kind of expand beyond just group chats to other forms of community, online communities?
Like one to many public
yeah,
stuff.
or like you know how Reddit is like very different than a live chat. It's like
Yeah.
posts that get ranked and mods. I
Yeah.
guess make sure everything is according to the standards of the community.
So there's couple things there that you touch. First, Towns protocol is end-to-end encrypted, and in order to maintain that, meaning that we have nodes that are willing to, there's more than 30 independent node operators that are running the network now. We don't do any of it. In order for them to willingly go and move around messages for users, they need to feel safe that they can do that, especially with privacy and each jurisdiction has their own rules about data. One of the ways that the protocol makes them feel safe is by saying, well, all the messages are end-to-end encrypted. Nobody's going to come and shut you down. Even if you need to send data, what are you saying? You're saying encrypted data that nobody can do anything with. So because of that, it's really important that the typology of groups is actually capped at some amount that we can deliver an experience that is good because of the key solicitation mechanism. So in every encrypted, end-to-end encrypted medium, you have to retrieve the message, and that's a very heavy, that you guys are helping with, but this is like a very heavy thing to do for the user. So we think we can get it up to, so the best-in-class product for end-to-end encryption right now supports 1,024 members. Town supports 10,000 members. It's the only one that does it. It's because we do relax on some stuff, but not on the encryption. We relax on like double ratcheting and future-proofing, which is a different thing, but the content always stayed encrypted. So as long as no country is after you, you're pretty good, and the content is always encrypted. So if we want to do things like a Reddit, that means that anyone can come and see it. That means that we will need to ask users to opt out of the encryption for that thing. There was another part of your question.
How about we shift to one last different question, which is
Okay.
why did you migrate to Celestia?
Because the moment we started getting real traction, basically the economics didn't work. Like we were paying, I think there was a couple days during Christmas that we were paying like $10,000 a day. And some of it is because, we're a small team and you sometimes discover that you have bugs that you overriding stuff or doing things not efficiently only when it's being used a lot. But a big chunk of it is because, we didn't think about those optimization and how they would get into scale. But luckily enough, the way we built things was sufficient enough to do a quick migration, and that reduced the cost, and I think 50 times right off the bat. And then we continue to iterate more, and now it's digestible. Like now, actually, if you look at the fees that the protocol generated in the past 6 months, which is $2 million, that it's in the protocol, like because there's no buy and burn, and then you look at the emissions that the protocol is doing, and you would like do the math of like if I had to pay all the nodes and like what's left, like we are like cash flow positive, which is pretty
That's
cool.
incredible.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah. Anyway. In a social product, right? I don't believe it, and I founded the thing.
What part uses Celestia?
What do you mean, what part?
Because you said the payment contracts are on base.
Yeah.
So which
oh,
part of
the messaging. So every message needs to be hashed, right? The nodes are moving around end-to-end encrypted messages, and basically you are storing a bunch of like hashed messages, right? And obviously it's a bad idea to use blockchain to to move messages. But what we do is we roll them up. But even when you do the roll up, the blob sizes just become very big, right? So that's where Celestia come in. Yeah. Thank you, guys.